This video is brought to you by Keeps. Stick around to hear more about the discount they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. Alright, first things first, the channel name has finally changed. I dropped the gamers part of it, it's now just upper echelon, still matching the logo and the tag UE. I'll still cover video game related content probably quite often, but the transition being what it is, the name change seemed like it was finally necessary. I know some people might disagree, but yeah, had to be done, so there it is. With that said, let's talk about the future of finance. Now, I say these words, the future of finance, with an immeasurable amount of sarcasm and disdain. Crypto is not the future of anything. If it were to be an evolution at all, it would be an exacerbated playground of everything that is currently wrong with modern finance, masquerading under a set of illogical and often contradictory ideals, making it little more than a joke with obscenely damaging consequences. I know, plenty of people are going to flood the comment section raving about fiat currency, fractional reserves, or the central banking cartel, and they're not wrong. Those things are bad, flawed, or prone to certain forms of abuse, absolutely. But having watched the crypto bubble since it was born, practically, traded within it for the better part of 10 years, as far back as 2012, I wanted to take some time, right now, and highlight just how ridiculous, absurd, and even comical the industry has become. It's true, this video is right now being mirrored to Odyssey, a crypto supporting platform that utilizes the library network to host a YouTube alternative, but I don't use that platform because of the crypto connection, I use the platform in spite of it. Odyssey has better free speech ideals, it has automatic content mirroring, and it's home to a great community of people, even the ones who think that crypto is the future of finance, so there's a lot of reasons to use it. I have amassed hundreds of thousands of LBC through that platform and left it untouched since I initially signed on. But the core principle at play here, in terms of why I use Odyssey to begin with, is diversification. Point being, I'm about to heavily criticize the world of cryptocurrency while uploading the video to a crypto supporting platform. I understand there's going to be a lot of people in the comment section that are very angry about this. Blockchain technology probably does have some uses, but what we see right now is a pathetic, damaging, ill-described, and faulty joke. Alright, tried and true, it's time for today's video sponsor. Keeps has been a supporter of the channel for quite a long time, and there's a simple reason for that. Channel demographics. Most of you are men ages 18 to 45. Yes, there are exceptions, but that's the majority rule. And hair loss affects roughly 2 out of 3 men by their mid-30s. As a result, the partnership makes sense. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any current competitor. You can order and get treated directly from your own home for a fraction of the cost when compared to other products, and they offer generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss treatments on the entire market. If you click the link down below, you can get 50% off your first order. Again, that's 50% off your first order if you click the link down below in the description. Keeps can help prevent, even in some cases actually reverse the process of hair loss. And yes, I do get paid for these advertisements, but Keeps has been a long-standing partner providing excellent support to upper echelon. Once again, there is a link down below in the description for 50% off your first order. Big thank you to Keeps for sponsoring the channel. Now, before the screeching sets in too hard, and believe you me it will, let me present some examples. Crypto has gone through a variety of phases in its lifespan. In 2013, there was a dramatic rise that put Bitcoin on the proverbial map, if you will, followed by brutal collapse because a Magic the Gathering trading card website, which had been repurposed into the largest Bitcoin trading platform on the planet, got hacked and lost 850,000 coins. At today's prices, that would be $16 billion, taken from a website initially designed to trade fantasy hobby cards. Heck of a start. That and more is essentially phase 1. Early adoption, wild volatility, dramatic price rise, and people like me, by the way, were shilling the hell out of it as the future of currency, finance, and technology all rolled into one. I remember when Overstock.com first came on board and accepted Bitcoin as payment, we went nuts over that. I remember ranting about it to glassy-eyed sophomores in a winter break dormitory on a college campus, and I remember riding the wave of financial revolution from $200 to $1,200 and all the way back down to $200 again. Those were the good old days, honestly. Phase 1 was when the technology felt unencumbered. Nobody really knew what the fuck it was, to be honest. We were using sketchy websites that obviously weren't prepared to handle this shit, and I myself managed to get out of Mt. Gox before the ultimate collapse, but it served as an extremely effective wake-up call, signaling that the world of crypto was in for a bit of a rough ride. Phase 2 is where things got wild. Bitcoin went from a few $100s to $20,000 per coin, and with it came widespread mainstream attention. People began selling their cars, houses, and children to buy as much of the token as possible. Yes, that's hyperbole, but just barely. This was when a wider market of crypto became more mainstream as well, and we started to see that the industry is just a twisted amalgamation of everything bad about modern finance times 10 all at once. Altcoins became all the rage, and stable coins began to appear. It turned out, according to research from University of Texas professor John Griffin, notorious for his ability to spot financial fraud, that more than half of Bitcoin's dramatic price rise at that time had been manipulation through a stablecoin called Tether. You see, crypto is touted as the future of finance, a revolution on existing norms and a technology immune to central banking corruption, but in reality, crypto had a central bank, and its name was Tether. I could go on for hours about the toxic impacts of Tether on the ecosystem and the eventual collapse it will cause, but this is more of an overview, not a specific investigation. If you want something like that, though, I'm going to link a video down below by the YouTuber CoffeeZilla that is extremely well made and explains the entire thing. Phase 2 is where the wheels came off. Crypto got a massively corrupt central bank of sorts. People were copy-pasting white papers and project profiles or websites and then absconding with all the cash all the time. More use cases for blockchain were being conceptualized or advertised than could ever possibly be made. They were not practical in the slightest. And the entire thing became a breeding ground of scams, illicit activity, money laundering, corruption, and mismanagement at every level, for every reason, in practically every single token or project. That was fun, but it was nothing compared to Phase 3. In late 2020 and early 2021, Bitcoin went parabolic. Pretty much every single token, shitcoin or not, went parabolic alongside it, and with that new all-time high came widespread institutional influence. Crypto became part of the existing financial world, only worse. It was prone to every single harmful activity that regular finance was plagued by, except faster and much more severe. Crypto became a criminal vice, a fraud vice, a rug pull machine, and a self-propelled multi-trillion-dollar industry that has more severe and frequent lapses than any other sector or even sovereign government on planet Earth. Let's put this in perspective, and I know it's going to be kind of a lot of talking and data points, but just bear with me and I'll have the visuals on screen. The top 10 largest bank heists in global history are as follows. The Dunbar Armored Robbery, 1997, $18.9 million. The United California Bank Heist, 1972, $30 million. British Bank of the Middle East, 1976, $20 to $50 million. The Northern Ireland Bank Robbery, 2004, $41 million. The Brinks-Mat Robbery, 1983, also $41 million. Banco Central, 2005, $71 million. Securitas Depot, 2006, $83 million. Knightsbridge Security, 1987, $50 million. And then two robberies in Baghdad, Iraq, one in 2007 and one in 2003. One of them for $282 million and the other for $920 million. The $920 million robbery was quite literally the dictator leader of an entire country robbing their own central bank, so I'm not even sure if I should count that one. And this top 10 list takes place over the span of almost 50 years. Now let's take a look at crypto. Just in 2022, well, the first 4 months of 2022, there was the Ronin network heist for over $625 million, Rari Capital and Fei Protocol, $80 million, Wormhole, $325 million, Qubit Protocol, another $80 million, IRA Financial through Gemini, $36 million, Beanstalk Stablecoin, $182 million, Cash.io Stablecoin, $52 million, Deuce Finance hacked twice in 2 months for $3 and then $13 million, 134 Bored Ape NFTs at their peak floor price worth over $150,000 each, roughly, so $23 million, and Crypto.com for $35 million. That's a lot of numbers and random stats, I know, but in just 4 months, there were 11 hacks with combined losses of nearly $1.5 billion. And that's just 4 months of 1 year, where multiple of those hacks would be in the top 10 bank robberies of all time. If you expand the parameters, the picture becomes absolutely absurd. Removing Mt. Gox from the equation here, with today's value being in excess of $16 billion, from 2018 to 2022, a 4-year time frame, even just the top 4 crypto hacks combined were approaching $2 billion stolen. What's more, hackers, exploits, and security breaches are just one aspect of loss, right? That's a wide-ranging word. If we once again expand our analysis outward, we can see a whole new world of absurdity. Let's get some context again. Lehman Brothers, partially responsible for sparking the 2008 American financial crisis, lost $3.9 billion in the third quarter of 2008, shortly before it declared bankruptcy. This had major ramifications on a national, even global scale, but let's compare that to crypto. Three Arrows Capital, crypto hedge fund, from $10 billion to zero. Terra Luna, $40 billion wipeout, as one of the largest stablecoins in all of crypto. When Tether goes, that's going to make it look like child's play. Celsius Network, Chapter 11 bankruptcy with a $1.2 billion hole in its balance sheet. And all of this was in a 3-month period from May to July of 2022. The future of finance has seen monetary disaster on a scale that even sovereign dictators cannot rival. Financial crisis on a national scale in America was partially sparked by fiscal fuck-ups 10 times smaller than what we see in the crypto industry, and yet this is the technology we are hailing as the future of our monetary system. Let's take a different approach. I've talked about this before, but there is a ludicrous idea that Bitcoin and crypto will help end global poverty or something like that. Nope. Turns out that Bitcoin has a Gini coefficient, a mechanism to measure income and wealth inequality, higher than the command economy of North Korea. Crypto has larger income and wealth disparity than any nation on Earth, by far. It has more wealth concentration and extraction of capital from poor to rich than any other financial market in all of history. But again, it's the future of finance, so why should we care? How about this one? Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, and Bitcoin is not correlated to traditional market conditions. Nope again. Bitcoin and other major tokens absolutely are now correlated to traditional market conditions, like job reports in America, for example. And it's a great hedge against inflation when your investment is depreciating by massive percentages while the money you invested in the first place is losing value. How about a more recent example, though? Technology moves fast, it's a budding industry. I have to cut them some slack, right? Okay, I will. Early October of 2022, the BNB chain, Binance chain, was hacked for $566 million. Okay, just another hack, what does it matter? And actually the amount was a lot less, only about $100 million actually got stolen off of the chain. So what? Well, they had to shut down the entire chain in order to try and minimize damage because someone found an exploit. I kid you not. When was the last time you heard about an exploit that caused all of, Bank of America to just go offline? There is this myth that crypto is decentralized. Wrong for a third time. Centralized companies shutting down the entire chain or making augmentations is completely normal, as we just discussed. Does that sound decentralized? Celsius Network was telling, just as another example, Celsius was telling users to unbank themselves, and then goes belly up with over $1 billion gone as a central entity where users were dumping all of their funds and getting interest. Kind of like a fucking bank, huh? There are highly concentrated epicenters of power and wealth in crypto that serve an identical purpose, exercising identical power when compared to traditional financial institutions. And yet somehow this word decentralized gets regurgitated over and over and over again. It's exhausting. Adding this in postscript, there's a whole other factor where DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, are this kind of like vote-based system, but sometimes they vote to the detriment of whatever individual member is subject to that vote or whatever company it is on a per vote basis. So you have this decentralized thing where this group of people are having votes and then determining what will happen to the other people. It sounds kind of like you have the board of a company that's not decentralized that makes votes about what happens to other people that are affiliated with the company. It's like every single concept in crypto is this twisted backwards doublespeak where they think that they're saying something that they're not saying and think that it's going to revolutionize something that it's not going to revolutionize. Anyway, the final myth that I want to delve into is anonymity and security. Hopefully we have fully torn down the idea that anything in crypto is actually secure, because there have been more breaches and stolen funds than any other industry by far in a comparable time frame. Also, $14 billion have been stolen by crypto scammers in 2021, which stacks up against $5.8 billion reported to the FTC in that same year, meaning that crypto has surpassed FTC reporting for a fiscal year of scamming by well over double. So that's fun. But anyways, the second pillar of anonymity is also a lie. Bitcoin transactions can be traced. US authorities have actually caught bad actors responsible for hacks and heists on multiple occasions, and the process of tracking user activity becomes exponentially easier as soon as you use one of the centralized tokens or protocols, which is basically all of them. Tracked by a centralized company, which is governed by sovereign laws and subject to imprisonment, sanction, or fines just like any other business entity, crypto users spout these buzzwords like anonymity and security that simply could not be any further from the truth. The future of finance seems to be something that is less secure and more prone to frequent large-scale breaches, hacks, heists, and chronic and extremely high-profile bankruptcies to the tune of billions or tens of billions lost, with all the traditional drawbacks of centralized control. They even have a brand new type of vulnerability, demonstrated by the nearly $200 million Nomad hack. Yeah, I forgot about that one. There are just too many to count. Nomad, a cross-chain messaging protocol, or bridge, got hacked in what is probably one of the only real examples of decentralized activity in the entire crypto space. A vulnerability was found, and then multiple people began just taking out the money. It was like one of the videos where you have 10 people just looting a store nonstop, but it was tens of millions of dollars of other people's money. Imagine if you stuck your money in like a Chase bank, and then one day 50 people figured out how to steal all of it in under an hour from all over the world, and you can't get it back or be compensated because you don't have any of the necessary protections that are given to actual legitimate financial institutions. Does that sound like a real future? Does that sound like the solution to our broken monetary system? Or does it sound like a bad joke driven by greed and FOMO that has now given way to complete control from established financial entities or institutions who abuse it worse than any other market on earth? Crypto is not the future of finance. It is the future of hardship and losses. It is the future of colossal failure. And it's the future, for all too many people, of bankruptcy. You should treat this entire industry with more skepticism and aversion than almost any other market in the world. And even then, it probably wouldn't be enough. Bottom line, and I know that this video will have numerous rage comments and "you just don't understand the future" posts, but I don't care. Bottom line, the hilarity of thinking that cryptocurrency is the future of finance is a joke to be laughed at and a belief to be ridiculed. Let's do some of that. The closest it will get is a blockchain-based, highly controlled token from existing banks, or a nation's government even. They will use it the way that they already use current financial infrastructure, and it will be rolled into the existing foundation as nothing more than a minor blip on the radar. In essence, it will be nothing other than a slight augmentation on how the current financial system operates. Nothing more. That's it. If you want to support, there are links down below, alternate platforms, locals, and Patreon to support with your money. I don't really accept crypto, sorry. Merch, social media keeps the video sponsor, of course, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.